It is a pleasure to meet you back. This is 2020 Gyeonggi International Hydrogen Forum. My name is Gyeonggi. I'm an announcer at Gyeonggi Provincial Government. So now let's move on to our next talk concept, which is session 4 on hydrogen economy that communicates with the public. As I mentioned before, this is being simultaneously interpreted into English, so you can select the Korean or English channel on YouTube.
Korean and English simultaneous interpretation is available for today's forum. So please check the YouTube channel for your convenience. 이번 세션은 수소 경제에 대해
So in this session, we will be having a very interesting talk on hydrogen economy. This is going to be very fun and interesting. We will have Kim Han-yong, who have about 340,000 followers on YouTube, and Kim Han-yong, who is the editor of MOCAR. Hello, it is a pleasure to meet you. Hello. I'm Kim Han-yong. Hello, my name is Kim Ji-young of Doosan Mobility Innovation. Yes, it is a pleasure to meet you. I'm going to ask you some questions. So when I think of you, I know that you work at Doosan Mobility Innovation, that you work with drones. Can you tell us a little bit about the kinds of drones that you work with? Right now, a lot of drones are being used in the industrial applications. So drones are basically computers that can fly. Recently, they typically use lithium-ion batteries. They only fly for under 30 minutes. Yes, I fly drones all the time, but I think when we fly drones, you have to always try to recharge them because the batteries are very small, which is why we use fuel cell batteries and generators that can emit electricity. So we make these little fuel cell battery packs, which we put in the drones, and the drones can now fly on average about 2 hours, which makes them ideal for industrial applications. Really, drones can fly for 2 hours. I see that means that there could be widespread use and adoption. Yes, in the industrial space for long pipelines or when there are these deliveries that need to be made across different lines, or if it's very dangerous, or if there's a rescue operation to look for someone missing, and even if somebody is found, a missing person is found, maybe that person has to wait for the rescue operation team to get there, and that drone will provide them some level of reassurance and comfort. Sometimes in freeways or expressways, we see cameras flying around. You know, the drones are doing traffic surveillance to see if you're not breaking any laws. Can drones be also used in that regard? Yes, in the traffic peak areas in the morning 2 hours and in the afternoon about 2 hours. That's when traffic congestion is the worst. The drones can fly for about 2 hours, so they can fly around at that time to see where the road congestion is worse and if there are any accidents. Yes, but if they can fly for about 2 hours, that's great. But after flying for 2 hours, it has to fly back to the refueling station, right? Yes, hydrogen cars right now, they have these batteries in them, so they have to go to a refueling station to be refueled. However, drones, they go to mountains, rivers, many different areas, so we cannot build refueling stations everywhere. So we just switch out the pack. That's great. So after flying for 2 hours, their packs are switched and they can fly again for another 2 hours. Yes, that's correct. Anyone can switch the pack. It's a one touch and it's very safe for use for anyone. It's very safe for use. Can this be sold in the market? Yes, it has started to be sold this year, and Korea is selling this. In fact, I think it's the only country that is selling this with this kind of technology. And early this year, we received the Best Innovation Award in the US. In all of the drones and robotics product categories, we were the most advanced in the world. I see. So when we think of drones, what I typically think about is that the drones that we've seen thus far are these small drones with small cameras, but hydrogen-powered drones, can maybe people get on them and fly around? Is that even possible? I think right now we are working with hydrogen-operated drones with thermal cameras or maybe delivering small objects. UAMs are unmanned air taxis, I guess you can see. But it's different from cargo drones. So we're interested in cargo drones and UAMs. There's something called energy density. So depending on the weight, you see how much energy it can have. With batteries, it's about 150 to 250. But for hydrogen fuel cells, it's already nearly 400 capacity. So if you create UAM with batteries, that can maybe you can fly for about 15 minutes to 30 minutes, whereas with hydrogen, you can do for about 1 hour. So I think it's closer to commercialization. I see. It feels like the future is right before us. That was very interesting to hear. I think a lot of talk has been mentioned about hydrogen refueling stations, that there's a lack of that infrastructure, and that it's very inconvenient to go around refueling the hydrogen cars. Can you tell us a little bit more about the refueling stations?
그러니까
So currently we have FCEV produced by Hyundai Motors and Nexo, right? That is highly acclaimed around the world as a well-made FCEV. But hydrogen car or the FCEV needs to be refueled. As of last year, Korea has the largest number of FCEV distributed in the nation. And it seems that only half of the number of the cars distributed here in Korea are distributed in Germany. So this FCEV is a large business here in Korea, and I believe that other mobility modes than the FCEV can be refilled in hydrogen the refilling stations. There also is a big concern over the hydrogen refilling station here in Korea. For example, in wintertime, the FCEV drivers expressed a lot of difficulties in refilling their FCEV because of the freezing of the nozzle or something like that. We all know that there is a dramatic development in terms of FCEV technology. So currently, a lot of parts and components have been improved, and also the refilling, the mode has been improved dramatically. So it takes only 5 minutes to refill the hydrogen. So it seems that there is a dramatic increase in terms of convenience of refilling of hydrogen in hydrogen refilling stations. So it means that there have been actually dramatic improvements in terms of hydrogen refilling station technology. So it means that the conventional concern over the inconvenience of hydrogen refilling station has been resolved. Is that what you said? That's right. But the thing is that there still is a shortage of the number of refilling stations. However, when it comes to the utilization of the refilling station, I believe that a lot of the difficulties have been resolved already. What are the key characteristics or the merits of FCEV produced here in Korea? I'm not working in the FCEV production area. Rather, I'm working in the hydrogen drone production area. So the hydrogen actually can be combined with the oxygen in the air, and electricity can be generated over the course. We all know that hydrogen is a clean energy source, and also the electric vehicle takes long to recharge because of the capacity of the battery. But we all know that FCEV can travel 600 kilometers, which is way longer than the EV or electric vehicles. So compared to the EV trucks or the buses, FCEV has bigger merits. Actually, what you said reminded me of the U.S. case, particularly the Amber hydrogen bus, which drew a great deal of attention from the general public in the U.S. Nikola case. So will it be commercialized sooner or later? I believe it's already commercialized. And also hydrogen, the battery pack is the business that I work on. We have a lot of suppliers and also upstream manufacturer partners that are working on the commercial production of FCEV and the hydrogen battery packs. I feel very proud of being Korea because the pioneer like you actually excavated and explored a new path for the development of hydrogen technology. This will be my last question. So we are talking about hydrogen economy and its development. What are the improvement points that you can think of from the perspective of the central government of Korea in the Gyeonggi province? We are talking about the growth of hydrogen industry. And it seems that the European countries like Germany or the country like the U.S. Lead this hydrogen industry or economy. But Korea is also one of the leading countries in terms of hydrogen economy and hydrogen technology. Other than this FCEV, Korea is ahead in many hydrogen technology areas, including green hydrogen technology. The advanced countries make huge investment in this green hydrogen technology. The green hydrogen production to 20 to 40 megawatt is the target pursued by the European countries. We all know that green energy, the hydrogen production doesn't generate any greenhouse gases or the CO2s. So, and also the supply of hydrogen is very critical. So the European countries have ambitious plan to create or install 1,600 to 6,000 pipelines for hydrogen delivery.
I think that all hydrogen is not the same, that depending on where it's from, it could be a little bit of gray hydrogen or maybe some hydrogen that needs to go a little bit more to become really environmentally friendly. So I think that institutionally speaking that we need to do a little bit more to support that kind of a hydrogen development. That's true. Because of COVID-19, some of the projects, about 90% of that industry has been wiped out. So this has brought about a big impact. If there's environmental pollution, if there's very big environmental problems, that is going to come as a very drastic impact to humanity. So I think that this hydrogen industry is really being promoted globally. And in that regard, the ways of using hydrogen and how we make and move hydrogen are also those areas where we have to see consistent research. Yes, thank you very much for your contribution. But lastly, maybe you can talk about a few last concluding comments. I think that there are many people who are worried about hydrogen because it's compressed, and some people have this wrong misconception of hydrogen. I know you might have heard of this, but people are worried about hydrogen bomb explosions. That's completely different from what we know. So can you tell us a little bit about that? So when we talk about H-bombs, that's a kind of hydrogen that does not exist in its natural state. So that's different from the hydrogen that we talk about. Hydrogen it exists right now in the air that we breathe. So it's just a very natural, eco-friendly energy source. And the hydrogen industry is also very developed. So in terms of storing this storage facilities of hydrogen, they've been put through a lot of different tests, and they're very severe on protocols and certification. So if we can use those, there's no issue in safety. So we should know that. And hydrogen is very flammable, which is why when hydrogen bursts, it will just fly away in the air. So other than gasoline or batteries, there's not going to be any issue where they will catch fire because of water. So in the different facilities that we use, we would compress the hydrogen and put that, and we try to light it on fire to see whether it's safe or not. So you put it in fire. Yes, we try to make sure whether it's safe or not to see whether the hydrogen is going to fly away. And this sniper, we even have a sniper to shoot it to see whether it explodes or not. So we have gone through that safety test, which means that it is very safe. So you really shoot at this. That's great. Yes, if you look at our YouTube channel, then you would see all these different tests. So you'll be able to see that, I think. Yes, I'm going to follow and subscribe. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution today.